You're gonna have to come over here and show off your apron in a second.
What?
You're gonna have to come over here and show off your apron in a second. Oh. Let's see here. Make sure I'm doing this right. Camera's on, audio's on. Cannot wait to have 1,000 subscribers so that I don't have to do this damn thing on laptop. What's up, Rick Ann, Jason Moore? How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's working. Eric here, driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder. Jenna's over in the kitchen. She's whipping up of a Thanksgiving feast, which she had to go out into the Black Friday madness four times today. Four times today. Because, you know, when you drive a truck out on the road, you don't have all the shit you need for cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So, yeah, so today it's Black Friday, and she had to go to 4 different stores, which I have to show you guys something. This is what happens when you, this is what, I'm sitting on the floor because I'm trying to be all festive and Christmassy. And you see my, you guys, those of you who are nerds, you know what I'm doing. If you can see that reflection off the fireplace right there. You know how productive I've been. Anyway, she went out to get some stuff. And so we ended up with, I don't know if that's backwards, but we ended up with Black Friday stuff. And she said there was nobody in the stores. So I had all these piles of stuff. Nobody's buying any of it.
Not nobody in the stores.
Well, not nobody, but not like normal. You would never find piles of stuff at this late in the day in the past. So anyway, who all is in here? We got there's a bunch of you. Rick Ann, Jason Moore, Son of a King, Dustin Anderson. Happy belated Thanksgiving, Dustin. Jeff S., John St. Clair, Scott Williams. Yes, Jenna's wearing a...
He said I have to come and show my apron.
Doing house stuff. Mr. Hopper, what's up, man? Happy Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving to all you guys. So, yep, PlayStation, that's right. Playing the new Assassin's Creed. How was the doctor's appointment? She hasn't gone yet. The doctor's appointment is on the 30th in St. Louis. So we have to drive up to St. Louis. We weren't supposed to be home until tomorrow. But I had a load that got all screwed up. It was the day before yesterday. Today's, what did it say, Friday? I never go into Walmart on Black Friday, but went to get my, well, yeah, but Hopper, she had to, because we got in last night, we decided to do Thanksgiving dinner, but we didn't have anything for Thanksgiving. We didn't have all the stuff we needed. We did have 2 turkeys in the freezer. But
Turkey boob.
Huh?
Turkey boob.
Turkey boob, she says. Butterballs. We had 2 of those. But all the stuff that she needed to actually do a Thanksgiving dinner, we didn't have, so she had to go out today. Because nothing was open yesterday. But yeah, typically, Hopper, I would agree with that. So her doctor's appointment is on the 30th. We weren't supposed to come home until tomorrow, but we got all messed up on, let's see, Wednesday. We had a load canceled on us. And it was a good load too. And the cancellation pay was dog shit. It was like $108. So basically they paid us $1 a mile for the additional miles that we had to drive to get to that place. And then they canceled the load. And I'm not going to say what the company was. It's a very big company, not like Walmart or anything like that, but a very, very, very big global company that basically lied and said that, What did they say, Jenna? They said they.
Oh, they said that they canceled because what they did is they booked us and Summit. So they said that they canceled us in the morning, but they got
they claimed that
got pinged when they canceled 14 minutes before they.
They claimed they canceled a load early in the morning and had notified Prime. This was Wednesday morning. We got there Wednesday afternoon, and Chris Martin, my fleet manager, said the email arrived like after the email came from them saying the load was canceled after we got to the shipper.
We had been sitting there for 2 hours.
Yeah, we'd actually been there for a couple hours. So what happened was they came out to the truck and they said, well, Summit is supposed to take this load. It shows in our paperwork Summit has the load because I gave her the trip number. And they were able to pull up the information from the trip number, but she said Summit's supposed to take this load. I said, well, I'm here with Prime. I don't know what to tell you. There's no Summit truck here, and we're Prime and we're here. And so she goes back in, she disappears. I went to sleep. And then while I was asleep, Chris sent a message that Jenna got that said that the load was canceled. And then she came out and said, yeah, you have to contact your fleet manager. The load's canceled. So they basically lied. They basically double booked. They messed up and then tried to cover their asses by sending a message to Prime while we were sitting there canceling the load. So, and it was crap. We got $100 for it. Oh, I was so peeved. And it threw off everything else. It threw off the whole, like we had been pre-planned on something else. And our mission, our objective was to take that load up to Ohio, and then have it dropped and then have enough time for our pre-plan for me to sleep, for me to get good sleep that evening. Well, that got all messed up. And then we ended up having to go get a load that we had to haul ass to get that load and then haul ass to get it to Springfield, so that someone else could take it to its 90 over in Oklahoma. So what that ended up doing is keeping me from sleeping that evening. I just got very little sleep that day.
You never do sleep.
Jenna says I never get sleep, but I got very little sleep that day. And then I had to drive all night to try to get that load to Springfield. And it was freaking hard, guys. Like I ate a whole damn bag of sunflower seeds. Ate a whole bag of sunflower seeds. I had like I don't know how much coffee and caffeine. And then finally, one of Chris Martin's other trucks messaged me on Discord. He messaged me on Discord. And he said, and Muhammad's his name. He said, did I just see you guys parked on a rest area on I-70 in Illinois? And I was like, yes, you did. Because I could not make it. I got close, but it just wasn't going to happen. I didn't have enough hours on my clock to get all the way to Springfield anyways, so Jenna was going to have to drive. I was just trying to get through St. Louis at least in the night, and it just wasn't going to happen. It was like it reached a point where no sunflower seeds or nothing was going to keep me from getting sleepy. So
do the rare instance where you accept defeat.
Yeah, Jenna says I had to do the rare instance where I accepted defeat, and I definitely pulled over and shut it down. Bonus parked in the rest area. And I wasn't prohibiting anyone from moving in or out of there. But anyway, because of all that mess up, we ended up getting home last night. We were supposed to run another load or two and be home on tomorrow. So her doctor's appointment is not until the 30th, up in St. Louis. So we're home and then we'll drive up to St. Louis probably tomorrow, I'm guessing. So anyway, that's our update. So yeah, we're gonna be home for the day. Oh, also, I said that canceled load on Wednesday. We got screwed on it and got $108, which is ridiculous for a team truck. I think we had it coming because, as you guys remember, we got $3,000 for having 2 loads cancel on us up in New York. We got $3,000 to sit there and get a 34-hour reset. And we actually did get paid that on the next pay period. So you have your ups and downs, and That was our down. They can't all be wins. So what's everybody up to? Matthew F. What's everybody doing? How's everybody's Thanksgiving? Hopper, you gotta be almost done, man. Hopper's in TNT, and he's one of our referrals, and he's almost done. I think he's done like this month, right, Hopper? So I figured I'd go live because I didn't do a video yesterday because of the way that run went getting back to Springfield, which, by the way, guys, Prime yesterday was like the quietest I've ever seen it, ever. It was crazy. There were no trucks on inbound. And there were so few employees there that there was actually a line outbound, not because the place was really busy, but because there was just like one dude running all 4 lanes going out. Michelle Evie trifecta today in Springfield. Awesome. That is freaking awesome. Headed to TNT phase. That feels so good, doesn't it, Michelle? That feels so good. I remember when I took my test like 2 years ago. Man, I had all those backing maneuvers down. Jenna on the phone. I had all those backing maneuvers down. I had done what I thought was a pretty good sample of the road tests, but I was still nervous as hell, you guys. Man, I was so nervous. I can't even, I had the pre-trip down perfectly, absolutely perfectly, and I still felt like I was just completely going to blow it. So I don't know what it is, man. You can be, the trainer or someone else and just ace everything and feel so confident, and then you get in there with those guys wearing the red shirts, the what do you call them, inspectors, or I don't know, whatever they're called, the guys who do the test. I fell apart, man. I was so nervous, but I trifected somehow, and then Jenna trifected too. And when she did, because I was her trainer, so I had to wait in the plaza while she was gone, and she was gone for a long time.
Oh, tell them about how you had a stroke because the person drove me.
Oh yeah, and another thing is, so my trainer told me when I tested that if the student comes back, and this is true, this was
neighbor came in for the save.
This was going to have to force me to go back into town to go to a store. Jenna's already been 4 times, and she's like, I don't have a potato peeler. I was like, no. Anyway. So those of you trainers, you'll know when your student goes out on the road test, if the student drives the truck back in to the training pad, then they passed. If the, what the hell are the guys called? Are they instructors? I said inspector. That's not right. Examiner. The examiner, thank you. Yes. The examiner, if the examiner is driving the truck back into the pad, then they failed the road test. Well, Jenna's examiner drove the truck back onto the pad, and it was simply because he wanted to mess with me. So I'm sitting there, and she, she'd gone through the pre-trip the pre-trip. She'd gone through all the backing maneuvers, and her pad was the one pad that I couldn't see from the window, which drove me batty. So I had no idea where she was, what maneuvers she was doing, how she was doing on those maneuvers. I couldn't see anything. And then finally they bring the truck around. She gets ready to go on the road test. I move the axles for her. She goes on the road test. And then the examiner drives the truck back into the pad just to mess with me. So she actually trifected too. Evaluator, I guess that would be another one. I think they're examiners. Yeah, I know, isn't it? Totally just to mess with me. But I still go talk to her examiner and my examiner, and just to remind them that, hey, you guys, thank you so much for helping us, just doing that for us, because they kind of helped start our career. It was really cool. Hey, what's up? I heard you're about to start. Is it Tasha? It's Tasha, right? JB?
Oh, Trish, and there's a Tasha too.
Oh, Trish and a Tasha. Okay, we know two. You sound pretty similar.
Is it TJ?
Tasha Hargrove.
Oh, okay. Her husband is in training now. He's gonna train her.
Okay. Sorry, Tasha. I know you. There's two of you have very similar names, and you're both going through a very similar situation. That's right, Todd. You're the one always asking about the couple teaming. Yes. Well, I'm glad you were able to drop in. Something I would so do. Yeah, you would, Hopper. You would totally fuck with people. That's the first time I ever dropped the F-bomb on YouTube, I think. I'm feeling festive, so. Speaking of career, just say no to 22 cents. Just say no to 22 cents a mile with my trainer. Oh yeah. I don't know how much you want to talk about that on here, but I agree with you on that. As I said the other day, definitely, Ola Jenna only gets 18 cents a mile. She was only getting 14 cents a mile, and somehow Prime just decided to up her to 18 cents a mile. And I'm like, WTF, I didn't approve this. So we're actually going to bump her up to like 25 or 26 miles or cents per mile.
Because my money just goes for like food and taxes.
Yeah.
So.
But we're going to bump her pay up to 25 cents a mile to push more money to her income and get more off of mine, because I'm making a ton of money and it's all 1099. Just moved up to BC this paycheck. Nice. Congrats. Examiner's third-party tester, works for Prime, certified by the state of Missouri. Okay, so is that not an examiner that's at the plaza, Michelle? I didn't know you could use anyone that's not there at the plaza. Works for Prime. Yeah, all those. Yeah, you're talking about all those guys at the plaza. Yeah. And what sucks now because of Kung Flu is that those guys, they used to be just strictly examiners. Now they have to do shifts going into the inbound, checking temperatures. Will Prime let you run as an S Corp? I think maybe they will. I think that I heard them mention that. Yeah, actually they will, because when I went through the tax class, they were giving some examples of how that could be advantageous. I just think there's a lot more involved there. For me, LLC made perfect sense. The way everything's broken down and the way your settlements work, it's all pretty straightforward in terms of taxes and all that. Like, you don't even need fuel receipts or anything. Everything is very line item documented out in your settlements. So you can very quickly figure out, what your tax liability is. And yeah, there's advantages to C Corp or S Corps, definitely. But the thing is, you're going to expense so much stuff that your income should be very manageable. My truck is doing like $25,000 to $35,000 a month in revenue. But I'm actually making less than half of that, much less than half that. Well, a little bit less than half that of actual income. You can like to be taxed as or C Corp, yeah. Again, guys, I think that you're expensing so much stuff. And at the end of the year, I'll take a look at things that I need to get and buy those things, because you're either going to give that to the government or you're going to, spend it on things you need for your business. Like, I'm getting ready to buy a truck. So the cost of buying that truck at the end of this month will remove that much of my tax liability next year. So any things you need to buy for your truck or do for your truck or do for your business at the end of the year, you're going to take that off your liability. But I write off so much, like these clothes, everything, if it's got a logo on it and it's for recruiting, so much stuff that you can write off that my income actually ends up being relatively smaller. I just want to get more money onto her income because she's W-2. So she's paying taxes on it. And if I minimize mine, keep myself down into a lower bracket, and she's already in a lower bracket, then that's going to help too. That's why I'm going to pay her 25 cents a mile instead of the current 18 cents a mile. You can W-2 yourself. But I don't need to. Like I said, I'm not paying a ton in taxes right now. People always say 1099, you get totally screwed in taxes. I don't see that. I like my situation. I save money and pay the taxes. So I can see how there would be advantages to that. My situation is not that terrible. Self-employment taxes, it kills sole props. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still Texas, so I don't pay a state income tax. Last year, my tax rate ended up being about 20%, which was not terrible. Call a friend as tax professional. Tasha says, I called a friend as tax professional. We'll be setting up our business account when Hubs comes home for Christmas. Louisiana is super easy to get an LLC. Yeah, Missouri was too. I had my LLC in Missouri in like 4 hours. What's up, Turner? Another Prime guy. Happy holidays. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Oh. You guys know the real reason that I'm doing a live right now? Well, I didn't do a video yesterday, but my remote on my PlayStation just went dead.
Are you serious?
I'm just kidding. I have a cord long enough for it to charge it. But I was like, I got to get up and plug it in. I might as well get up and do it live because I've been wanting to do one today anyway. I do have a long cord, a cord long enough. But it provoked me because I had to get out of my chair. I have a lazy boy. Yeah, Jenna's in there slaving away, making turkey dinner. And I'm like, got to get up out of my seat and plug my damn PlayStation remote in. It's a tough world. Jenna John St. Clair says, you need another reason to go to the store.
No thanks.
You'll get me a new PlayStation remote. It's Black Friday.
No thank you.
So anyway, yeah, we like I said earlier, we were sent home 2 days early. So now we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs. Well, Jenna's not. She's making a hell of a dinner. But we weren't supposed to be home until Saturday. Had a load canceled, which shifted us a little bit and got us home. So Jenna bought a Christmas tree today, set that up, just a little one. But it made me feel stuff when she set it up. I felt Christmas stuff. So we're probably going to stay here until 6th or 7th because she signed up to do the full month for the holidays. So that means we can't come home before January 7th. So being that we're going to be running so hard for 4 weeks, I think we're just going to stay home from now through the 7th. So it'd be like a full 10 days home. But because of the way our loads ran, we actually ended up with like $4,500 in revenue on this pay period that ends next Wednesday. So I'll get a check next Wednesday, and then as long as we leave, around the 6th or 7th, then we should be able to make enough money to make the next truck payment, so we won't go in the hole. But Tasha, or anyone who runs a couple team truck like we do, one thing you'll find that's really amazing about it is that you can climb out of the hole really fast, really fast. When I was a solo truck, man, if I got in a hole, it took some work. It could take 2 or 3 weeks to get out of the hole if I'd stayed home too long. But if you're a team truck, you can climb right out. Matthew F. is it pay weekly or bi-weekly? It is weekly for both company and lease drivers. Now, as a lease driver, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll get paid weekly. That just means that you get your settlements weekly. But I don't really look at that pay in terms of weekly. We always have money in the bank when we get paid, so it's not like we're depending on that week's paycheck. I think we look more at like a month. What did we make this month, and that's kind of how we determine. We look at monthly, quarterly, and annually. But you do get settlements and you do get paid weekly. If you run through the terminal before the 7th, they're going to stick. Okay, well, Scott, I didn't really want to address that, but I think I might. So Scott Williams brings up that they're going to stick something up your nose if you go into the terminal before the 7th. We ain't going to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. We are not sick. We feel great. We're very healthy. We're not interested in that. So no offense to Prime. I understand you got liabilities and you got things going on. We ain't doing it. So our options are, A, we can either bobtail up to Indiana and get a brand new trailer, which we've done like 4 out of the last 6 times that we've left Springfield. Or we're just going to wait until after the 7th and leave, and we'll just forfeit her. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in being in any kind of a database. I'm not interested in having something shoved down my nose for Kung Flu test. So yeah, we ain't gonna do that. We had already made that determination before we came back to Springfield. And it's frustrating too, because we're not at any kind of a gathering. We didn't go to any other city. We're just at our home by ourselves here in Springfield. We're
Masks at grocery store.
wear a mask at grocery store, which doesn't help, but whatever. What's the word? I'm not anti. What's the antisocial?
You're introverted.
Introverted. I'm very introverted, believe it or not. Jenna, not so much, but I'm very introverted, and so I was already social distancing long before this shit happened. You know what I mean?
Like,
So I don't know why we have to go take a COVID test at the terminal. It makes no sense. We're not partying with a bunch of people.
And we've been really really responsible about like no exposure and limiting exposure and stuff, because like, for example, even when I got the potato peeler right now, because our neighbor is at risk, we passed leftovers and stuff over the fence. Like we literally just take stuff, put it in a bag, and hang it on the other side of the fence back and forth. Like I haven't even seen my neighbor since this started. We talk on the phone, we text, we pass things over the fence. Like we have a new neighbor on the other side. He's started doing the same thing. So it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, like for me, the idea of, even if it's a minute medical procedure, if somebody's forcing me to do a medical procedure I don't want to do, I take serious issue with that. And it's already going to be bad enough. I already have a doctor's appointment. I'm already going to, get poked and prodded and injured over there. I don't want somebody, swabbing my nose and all that. Like, it's just not my bag. So anyways, back to kitchen.
So back to what you're saying, Scott. Yeah, you said me and my trainer already talked, and we were going to stay away from all terminals. We were both from New York, but are both healthy. Yeah, man. I don't like the forced COVID nose jamming something down your nose test. I don't want that. I don't need that. I'm fine. I'm healthy. I didn't volunteer for that. So, we're so passionate about that even if it means she has to forfeit her $750 bonus, then it's going to be forfeited, because I'm not going to go sit in line at the terminal after being home by ourselves, not around anybody else, to be tested. I'm not going to do it. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be in a database. I don't want anything to do with it. that's my, so let me go back up here. Technically, legally blind. I would love to. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Casino around town, yeah. Love the content, very informative. Question: how often are the walkaway leases available? JJ Hammer. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you can always get a lease. You can get a lease whenever you want. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get an amazing, wonderful, brand new truck. But you can get some kind of truck. Sometimes there can be a wait, but I've heard that there's more trucks available now, so I don't think the wait is that long. And then after you've leased with Prime for like 3 months or 6 months, then you can order a brand new truck, and you can lease a brand new truck. You can get your own colors, you can get your own customizations made to it. You can pick the model. And it is truly walk away. I've said it before on my channel. I actually did walk away from a lease with Prime to get this truck that I have. So I walked away from a Freightliner Cascadia lease that I was only, I don't know, like 13 months into that lease or something like that. And I walked away from that lease. And it cost me like $100. They bought like new, they put like new windshield wipers on it. All the oils and fluids. Huh?
Like a door ding.
Yeah, they had to fix a door ding on it.
But you didn't have to pay for cleaning because we turned it in clean.
So, you'll have some costs. I don't think you can turn in a truck and walk away without having zero cost. You're gonna have some cost. You're gonna have something. But walking away with only $400 having to be paid, to me, was pretty great. Let's see. I'm gonna go back up here. Going to Prime in January. Well, I need to get my hazmat when I get my permit. No, you don't need to have your hazmat. I still don't have my hazmat. Jenna doesn't have her hazmat. And honestly, I see a lot of people talking about getting their hazmat. We've gone into the terminal to get loads, and they've asked us if we have hazmat, and those loads don't pay that much better. They don't. It's so nominal. It's like, going to tanker. Like the tanker does pay better, but it's not. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe it is to the guys driving tankers, but it doesn't. It's not like a 30% increase in the rates you're going to get. And if you drive hazmat, you can't go through downtowns. Can't go through tunnels. Can't go through tunnels. It's just a pain in the butt. To me, it's not worth it. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying don't do it. But in answer to your question, no, you don't have to have hazmat. Let's see, when is this supposed to start? You're talking about the testing, Hopper? Is it the third through the 7th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to a terminal, any of the terminals, on December 3rd through the 7th, it is forced Kung Flu testing for all drivers, all passengers in the vehicle.
Well, and I think part of it is they don't want you to go to the terminal because they said the way to avoid it is to not go to the terminal for 10 days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. They're not saying don't drive your truck. They're just saying don't go. If you go to a terminal, you're going to be Kung Flu tested, which sucks for us because we're here in Springfield. Like, we want to go to a terminal and get a load or get an empty trailer or something. But I'm not going to go through that. 10 count, just finished first solo load. Awesome. Is that what Prime 10 count? Your first Prime solo load? Let me tell you guys about my first solo load. Jenna was with me. I almost killed a forklift driver.
Oh God, that was not your fault.
It was not my fault. But I don't know if he really almost killed him. I don't know if he really almost died. But on my first solo load.
And we almost got hit at the same place.
Yeah, almost. Forklift driver almost drove off between my truck and dock, and I almost got backed into by some psycho driver.
Trying to back between.
So the first thing is I was at the dock. This was a chicken place up in St. Joseph. I was at the dock and getting unloaded, and the receiver comes out, walks up to my window and says, gave us our paperwork, literally handed us our bills signed, our paperwork and everything. You're good to go. So I pull out and curve around, and then he comes running out there hollering and yelling, and it was not good to go. There was,
He picked the wrong truck.
yeah, he picked the wrong truck. So it was like only half unloaded. And but there was no lights, there was no green or red, there was no lights. It was just the kind of dock that didn't have lights. Yeah, he was freaked out that he was going to lose his job. He's like, my foreman's going to come out. Please don't mention this, you know. So we didn't mention anything, but it was like, oh my God, that would have been so terrifying on my first solo load if a forklift drove off the back of the trailer into the freaking dock, which could happen. And then after that, I go back to the dock because they have to finish unloading. This driver comes in, he swings up and positions to pull in. And they go out there and they tell him which door to go to. And he starts backing up. And for some reason in his head, maybe it was his first solo load or something, I don't know. In his head, he seems to think that there's room between my truck and the truck next to me to back in. Well, there's no door between us. And there's only like 8 feet, you know, at maximum, maybe 7 feet between my truck and the truck next to me. And he seems to think that his dock is between these two trucks, when there's no dock between the two trucks, and we're too close together for his truck to get between. But by God, he was coming back, and that was going to be his dock. And it was, we have it on dash cam. It was like horn blowing, you know, hey, mofo, that's not a dock. Then he got out and tried to play it cool like it was all intentional. I was like, no, bro, that was not intentional. You were going to back into two trucks trying to get to a dock that wasn't there. So that was my first solo load. Yeah, Hopper, if you go after the 7th or before the 3rd, there will not be forced Kung Flu testing. Let's see. Would I be the one paying the $750? No, that $750 bonus comes from Prime. We did this last year too. Her $750 would not come out of my settlement.
Oh, that would be so bonus.
Yeah, that would be total. That would be quite the boner killer there.
Oh.
If they gave me a $750 bonus and then charged me $750 for her bonus. No, that's not how it works. Could you order a Peterbilt 389? No, you cannot. You can only order the, 579 Peterbilt. So you can only order basically one type of truck. And I don't even think you can order an international, to be honest with you. I don't know that anybody wants to order an international. Sorry for those that have internationals. I don't think that you can actually order an international. It's either a Peterbilt or a Freightliner, and it's either a Freightliner Cascadia or a Peterbilt, 579 Ultraloft. Those are the only two trucks you can order. I think too much or too long. Prime, 2-stop, 2 lumper fees, and lightweight. Had to ask a Prime driver for wire cutters. Yeah, I have my own. Get the big bolt cutters. I have those. That and is come in handy so many times.
For anybody wondering how spoiled Remy is, this is Remy's Thanksgiving base for her dinner: brown rice, green beans, and sweet potatoes. There's a chicken boiling on the stove for her, so then I'll add chicken in there. So
yeah, so our dog's actually getting a Thanksgiving dinner. May have been on mushrooms. May have been. We pick up mushrooms, hauled mushrooms many times. We don't eat mushrooms while driving. Don't eat magic mushrooms at all, but certainly not while driving. Well, we've hauled, and we get those portobello mushrooms that go up in PA.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, those things are like, the mushrooms are like this big, and then they slice them like a loaf of bread. And we took those to a grocery store. Actually, we've taken mushrooms to a small distributor in downtown Detroit. We've taken them to Walmart. We've taken them to grocery DCs. We've hauled mushrooms quite a few times. Yeah, but just go ahead and invest in those big bolt cutters, man. I'm telling you. Because sometimes they give you those really thick wire seals on there, and I don't know why receivers like just have this expectation that you're going to deal with it. You know, they're the ones supposed to be checking and cutting the seal, but 9 out of 10 receivers lately don't even look at the seal. It's just, you know, yeah, go onto this door, break your seal, throw it in the back, or not even that. Like they don't even. A lot of them don't even want to see it anymore, which to me is like, wow, okay. If I go to Prime in January, I don't know, Jeffro. They probably will, honestly. They'll probably do the same thing. They'll probably say, everybody who went home for Christmas or New Year's, here's going to be a period of time where you're going to have to be tested to come in. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. They probably will. They'll probably do the same thing. Does Prime still have standards? This is all automatics. You can actually order a standard truck. When you go through the order process, you can choose to have a standard. But if you like, they don't order standards. So if you get one off the lot and lease that, it's going to be an automatic. But you can order a standard. I'm not actually. It may be only if you're buying a truck. Now that I think about it. If you're doing an ACE 2 lease, I think you can order a standard. I don't think on just a regular walkaway lease that you can order. I don't think you can order a standard. And I came to Prime like literally a couple weeks after they stopped testing on standards. So when I went to Prime, I was fully expecting to have to learn to drive stick, a truck, which I've driven standards my whole life. So not a truck, but I wasn't afraid of it. I just fully expected to have to go through all that. And they quit doing it like right before I got there. Like they quit. You had to do the stick in the sim lab up until just a couple weeks before I got there. And then they stopped even doing that in the sim lab. How's having full-size dog in a truck? Have a Labrador, half lab, half pit bull. She's 70 pounds, but would love to bring her. Our dog loves being on a truck. She likes being on a truck more than she likes being home. And we have this collapsible set of stairs that is real nice. It sits right up on top of the step and it can go down. But honestly, she's young, you know, she's like 3, what is she, 3.5? Huh?
She
just turned 3. So she just hops right up. And a Peterbilt's steps are more like a stairs. The Freightliner is more kind of like a ladder. But she still was able to leap up onto the top step of the Freightliner and launch herself into the truck and then use that top step to kind of not have to leap completely out of the truck. But she loves it. She loves to be on a truck. Now, we lived in an RV before we were in a truck, so her entire life has been on the road. And we got her when she was the size of a sweet potato. So literally her entire life has been on the road. She doesn't know anything different. So when she's home, she's bored as hell. She feels like, you know, when we're at the house, she just feels like we're supposed to be going. I'm not looking at myself, guys. I'm looking at the comments. I just want to make sure I don't look like a weirdo here. Someone's staring at themselves. I probably should be talking to you in the camera when I'm answering your questions, but I'm looking at your comments when I'm answering the questions. Lab pit as well. She's so nuts. And on that, maybe it's easier for us as a team truck, but we find I use Google Maps to pin every rest area that has good grass that's away from the highway where I can throw the ball. I'll make notes like if there's shippers or receivers that have nice big grassy areas, we can go throw the ball. Truck stops that have good dog parks or in spots where you can back in on the end if you're there early enough and there's a big grassy area over, you know, where literally you can open your door and a dog can hop out and they have a little playground. So I try to take notes and remember good places like that, but we don't tend to find it very difficult to deal with the dogs, you know, to deal with dog. It's just not that difficult. They have to keep her food very stocked and supplied. We have a dog bowl that they sell. Where do we get that dog bowl? Amazon. We got it on Amazon where it doesn't spill. Like it can tip and it won't spill. So we just keep a couple gallons of water under the bunk to keep her water supplied. And She has a bed down on the floor. It's not a very thick bed, so we can walk over it all. We try not to with our shoes because sometimes you get oil and stuff. But she has a nice bed that's right in front of our bed on the floor that she sleeps in while I'm driving at night. She kind of stays up in the cab with me. And then during the day, she hops up in the bed and sleeps while I'm sleeping in the bed. So, or if we're parked and both sleeping, she wants the bed, so I have to go sleep upstairs so that Jenna and the dog can sleep on the bed. What's up, Trucking with Million Mile Man? What's going on, man? Loving your videos, dude. I'm learning about so many Prime YouTubers from your videos. I don't know how you find all these channels because I'm constantly looking for them, and you're finding brand new YouTubers every week. It's amazing. Matthew's Prime allow pets in their buildings. I think so. Don't they allow pets in the buildings?
I'm not sure, but people do it.
People do it. Prime's very pet friendly. They have
I think it's as long as your dog isn't a terrorist.
They have like a dog wash at Springfield Prime. They have kennels. Great pet policy. So yeah, Prime is extremely pet friendly. That was one of the key factors of choosing Prime, actually. Let's see. Matt, Crazy Bag showed Prime Terminal over a year ago. They have an outdoor area for dogs, like a kennel. Yeah, exactly. So Jeffro, and not only that, they have huge fields too. There's over behind the detail shop. If you park over there on the interstate side of the buildings, there's just massive fields over there, and then they have fields over by the training pad. So there's lots of places to play with your dog at Prime. Lots. Not at Salt Lake City or not at Pittston. It's terrible at Salt Lake City because there's like no grass at Salt Lake City.
Well,
Maybe it's different with a new building, but that grass would have to be directly around the building. I mean, they're in the outskirts of where the fences are at Salt Lake City. It's desert, it's just rocks. And Pittston doesn't have enough room. They have one grassy area, but there's so many dogs trying to get in that grassy area that we just let Remy go try to find somewhere along the fence.
She's not social.
Yeah, she's not a social dog anyway. She didn't want to. She just wants to talk shit to anything else that lives. Yes, sir. What's up, Trucker John? Do It All made an appearance. Man, I'm about to shut down and you guys show up. It's starting to smell like food in this place. Yeah, so anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in.
The best part is it's Remy's food years as it started cooking.
Oh, yeah. So what smells so good right now is the dog's food. She's getting her own day after Thanksgiving meal. Never get an alert when you go live. I don't know, man. Don't know what to tell you about that. So that's about it. Unless you guys have any final questions. I mean, it's 48 minutes. I don't want to ever go over an hour. I try to keep my daily videos at like 12 to 18 minutes. And then when I do these lives, try to keep them less than an hour. So I don't want to go too much longer. You mentioned about Prime YouTube community. I see several people on here that also watch. Yeah, Prime's YouTube community is the best, but like it's not even like competitive in terms of other companies, other mega carriers. And just so you guys know, if you're not with Prime, you're not that familiar with it, we are the largest refrigerated fleet in the country. So we're definitely a mega carrier, like 8,000 trucks or something like that. And that's when you include flatbed, tanker, and reefer. But we're the largest refrigerated carrier. And as far as the mega carriers, or really any company for that matter, Prime's YouTube community is second to none. I mean, second. Look at Million Mile Man. Go look at his channel. Look up his channel and see how many new Prime YouTubers he finds every week. It's crazy. New are not necessarily new, but just ones that maybe not have been that well known. And he's finding different ones every single week. There's probably 100 Prime drivers on YouTube. I'm not exaggerating that. It's probably Prime drivers we don't even know. And they're even, I know of a couple that literally just do it for their friends and family. So they're not even trying to, get a big audience, or like they're just 5 or 6 people watch, and I've started subscribing to them because their stories are interesting too. And they'll literally say at the beginning of their video, if any strangers watching this, I just do this for my mom and my sister, which I think is it's really cute. So, but the channels like Do It All Trucker, Million Mile, Million Mile Mike, the Bearded Fat Man just started, Trucker John, Johnson's Logic. You guys, Lyle from No Hippie Trucking Transportation is a very tight knit. We talk to each other on the phone, very, very regularly, text message each other every day. So it's a very, it's not just people shouting out to other YouTube channels. And we actually are friends. We actually have, that kind of relationship with each other, which is really cool. Prime superior online presence, at least from what I see. Yeah, definitely. Tell Jenna I'm on that low. Do It All says, tell Jenna he's on that low. Let's see, what's up, Cuba? You always you were here early last time. Does everyone that works at Prime have a YouTube channel? Well, not everybody. There's thousands of drivers, but there are more people at Prime that are proud of their journey, proud of the company they work for, and proud to share that journey than I think any other company. And that should speak volumes about Prime. Matthew F. likes seeing the support everyone gives each other. Yeah, definitely. It's really cool to see that. And it helps us all grow. Jeffro, I may do some videos once I get there, probably more for my family and friends, whoever wants to watch my journey. Honestly, I think doing YouTube, which I never thought I would do when I first came to Prime. And then when I started doing YouTube, I thought I wouldn't do daily. YouTube has definitely rewarded me in subscribers and views for doing daily videos. And I've read that before with other channels. So I've started doing as daily as often as I can. And I've found that it actually gives me a little extra energy and inspiration to do YouTube. Because you're just always thinking about, how can I help others? How can I say things that others might learn from or might benefit from? And it's just it adds a healthy element to the craft of driving professionally. So I've really enjoyed YouTube a lot, and I thought I would hate it. YouTube truckers at terminals, including you guys, never said hello because I just didn't want to bug people or seem like a stalker. Man, Scott, I can only speak for myself, but I don't think there's any Prime YouTubers who would not appreciate you coming up and saying hello. Don't hesitate. That's how we were. We were like that. Now, we did approach Lyle before we were on YouTube.
So dirty.
Yeah, we were nerds, and we were starstruck, and we were like, Lyle, we watch your YouTube channel. We approached him, but you know what? To Lyle's credit, man, he wasn't just like, oh, thanks, and walked on. He came and sat down on the couch and had a conversation with us for like 20 or 30 minutes. And we were nobodies, we were just other drivers. And I really respected that about Lyle. He just came and hung out with us and talked with us a bit, And I think probably most YouTubers at Prime, if you see them, ourselves included, Jen and I, and you walk up to us, we'd love to say hello. I don't think any of us are going to be like, darn it, something, like, I don't view you guys as fans. I hate when people say YouTube, your subscriber fans. It's not fans. You're friends. You drive, or you're interested in driving just like us. The difference is we talk to a camera. There's, we'd have the same kind of conversation if we were all sitting together in a room. It's not fans. I'm not a fan of the people I subscribe to on YouTube. I just enjoy getting their content, and I appreciate them taking the time, to share it. I'm a fan of their content, not a fan of individuals, if that makes sense. How do you come up with content for your videos? Do you write something down, or you just come up with stuff off the top of your head? Jeffro, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about on my videos before I start the phone. Jenna will testify to that. Like, I'll get out of the truck to go and use the bathroom or rest area, and she'll say, "What are you going to do your video on?" I'll be like, "I don't know. I'll come up with something by the time I'm done brushing my teeth." That's how I make my videos. I don't plan mine at all. At all. Now, I do while I'm driving and stuff, or instances happen throughout the day. I'll kind of be like, okay, I'm going to talk about that, like I get ideas and inspiration, but as far as planning my videos now, if I was actually editing them, because my profession before truck driving is video production. But see, I think that there's a very fine line in having something that's extremely well produced and having something that's not produced at all. If you're in the middle, sometimes people can tell that. So I would rather just be in the not produced at all. I'm just holding up a phone and talking to it. I ain't trying to get fancy with it. I don't want to pretend to be. I don't want it to have the appearance that I'm trying to get fancy with it. If I wanted to get fancy with it, I'd come spend a week in my $7,500 computer upstairs and really get fancy with it. I don't have time for that. So I just hold up an iPhone, and sometimes it's ugly. The lighting's terrible. White balance is all off. The audio is terrible. And I just roll with it. Because I ain't trying to, it's YouTube, I'm not trying to get crazy with it. But no, I don't usually script them out or plan them or anything. Other than my rap video, that took a little more thinking. Then it went up to three times a day. Yeah, sometimes I'll do 3 a day. Do it all in there, deleting messages. What's that all about? This approach, say hello, just learning how to do YouTube myself. How do you come? Let's see. Jenna said she was a nerd approaching Junior. Yeah, she did. We both did. We were a little. Yeah, we both did. We both were nerds with Lyle and Junior. But you have to understand, when we first met Junior, it was at the most random, middle of nowhere shipper.
It was a Dow and PA.
It was Dow Chemicals, but it wasn't even like a major facility. It was this tiny little dirt lot with no guard shack, no staff there whatsoever. Like, just nobody. You just pull into this dirt lot, you find your trailer that you've already been given a number from Prime, drop your empty. There's nobody checking to see if your empty's clean. Nothing like that. And the bills were inside the trailer. So I was hooking up to the trailer, and I'd seen that the bills were in there. So I go to pull them out, and Junior Honduras pulls up. He actually walked to the back of the trailer that I was at to ask me, this other Prime driver, where the bills were. And I was like, well, mine were just laying right here in the trailer. And we were both like, oh my God, we got to take a picture with you. So I will acknowledge. Now, I was only driving a truck solo out of training for like 2 months by then. So it was like really cool that we'd run into Junior out there in the wild, at the most random place ever. And now we've run into him several more times, usually at extremely random places. You had to plan the poop video. Well, yeah, I shot part of it in the pooper. I shot part of it in the pooper, and then part of it was impromptu, just walking around Love's talking about poop. Let's see, I met Joe Rogan and definitely nerded out. Okay, now I would fan nerd out if I met Joe Rogan. I don't think any of us Prime YouTubers are on the level of Joe Rogan. Dude gets $100 million from Spotify. Oh, dude, I wasn't busting your chops, man. I was just saying I didn't get to see that comment. Hello, Eric and Jenna. Love your videos. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Well, 59 minutes and 50 seconds. I got to get off here. I'm sure my PS4 remote is now charged, so I can go back to Assassin's Creed. Plus, his food's smelling amazing. But I just wanted to, because I didn't put a video up yesterday or this morning, explain to you what happened. And if you go back to the beginning of this live, after it's up, you'll see that we had a canceled load and had things get all screwed up, which ended up putting us back here in Springfield earlier than we expected, but also extremely tired. So yesterday we just slept. Like I went to bed at like 7 p.m. yesterday, got up at 2:30 this morning. So we didn't actually get to Springfield and enjoy Thanksgiving. We were just exhausted. Eric, how long it took you to ride with Jen on the truck? I'm asking to have an idea of the process to bring my girlfriend. She was on my truck, my first load. My first solo load, Jenna was on the truck.
You just have to get a permit from here.
Yeah, you got to get a permit. It's not something you got to pay for. It's just, just something you sign to have passenger on the truck with you. But I didn't run a load without her. Like it was when I was done with training, it was like, all right, enough of this. Let's go. Get on the truck. Let's go. We were so happy to be together. So yeah, Jenna was on the truck with me when I upgraded. Had her and my dog on the truck with me that day. It was a meet and greet while food in Austin a couple years ago. Shook his hand. My wife snapped a pic. Yep. Okay. Later, Jennifer. Thanks, Hopper, man. Appreciate it. Good luck on finishing up your TNT, bro. I think you're just about done. So it's awesome, man. It's awesome to see you get done because we knew you before you went to Prime. In fact, you were he was with Werner? Hopper's with Werner?
Yeah, Hopper was with Warner.
Yeah, he was with Werner for a minute, and then went to Prime. So it's really cool knowing people that we knew before they were at Prime. Now seeing them get ready to get their own trucks and get upgraded. It's freaking awesome. Put that pic on the lineup site in a little bit. Right on, Jeffro. Yeah, Hopper did 2 weeks with Werner. So, okay, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Happy belated Thanksgiving and happy holidays. So happy Jenna got this up, even though we'll only be able to enjoy it for a week. It definitely. I told her when she set it up, I felt something. I feel the Christmas cheer. So definitely happy holidays to all you guys, especially those of you in trucks that you just got to keep freight moving through the good and the bad, through the times of the year that you don't want to. And it's awesome to be associated with so many other people who get that. So have a drink for me, Toys for I generally don't drink. I used to be an alcoholic, so try to stay away from that. But I might have an adult beverage or two while we're home. I try not to. Thank you for all the videos and information. You all helped me out on my journey. Yeah, no problem, man. That's why we do it. Smash that like button. I always see people do that. I never say that. But yeah, if you guys can give us some likes, I guess that helps. I don't know. Supposedly it helps. Co-drivers at 47,000. Oh, is that your student do it all? 40, so almost done. Nice. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thank you. As always, be safe, make good decisions, drive to thrive. I'm Eric, driverlineup.com. Talk to you guys soon.